Hi, my name is Hannah Cheramy. I play Julie Matthews on From, and you're watching Pop Culture with Pat.
What's your favorite scary movie?
Hey guys, welcome back to Pop Culture with Pat. So I am so excited to be joined by today's guests. Today I'm talking to Hannah Cheramy, who plays Julie in the show From. Thank you so much for your time today, Hannah.
Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. So a lot to talk about, crazy things going on already with this season. I just wanted to kind of start off by asking you, so now 3 seasons of getting to live and explore this character. What have just been some of your favorite elements of getting to kind of go on that journey with Julie over these past couple seasons?
Gosh, playing Julie is just so much fun. I love the change from season one. Like, I started the show when I was 17. I'm 21 now, and just watching her grow up and playing her growing up and going from sort of like the bratty teenager in the beginning of season one to like season three is like taking care basically of like Ethan with her dad sort of gallivanting off and her mom being gone. And she's definitely had to take on more of a leadership role, and it's scary for her, and it's interesting playing that shift within her.
Yeah, I imagine it's been nice just to kind of see that, that evolution over these couple of years, and hopefully we get, many more. It's, I know I've heard that they have a plan of how it's like supposed to end, but obviously it's like the journey of getting to there. So it's like we'll see, how many more seasons. But I mean the fan base seems to be loving it. So it's like I hope we get at least like, several more seasons with you guys.
Hey,
Now,
let's hope. Let's hope.
these characters, I mean, they've gone through such an emotional journey, so far. How do you prepare yourself for filming some of the more emotionally demanding scenes throughout the series? Because I imagine it has to be rewarding as an actor, but I'm sure it can probably be a little emotionally exhausting and mentally exhausting at times to do some of those scenes. So, do you do anything special to kind of prepare for those, or?
Um, yeah, I'm kind of different. The way I approach acting to me is something that more just comes in the moment, almost like on set. I just kind of really try to find the emotion there. I don't like to prep too much, like super heavy stuff at home, because I want it to come naturally on the day and not feel forced or like rehearsed. I just want it to come to me naturally. So on the day is when I will really get into the more somber, I guess, mindset that you would need to be in to do those kind of scenes. So I'll listen to, sad music offset. I'm normally very chatty when I'm on set, but like after the takes and stuff. But if we're doing a more sad scene, I'll probably keep the chatting to a minimum and just sort of try to stay in it and keep to myself and not be very fun on set.
Yeah, I mean, talking about like this season, I think, with losing Kenny's mom, that, the aftermath, that episode was just honestly probably like one of my favorite episodes, the series so far, the performances from all of you guys. And I imagine, you have like those practical effects. You see like a body there, on set. You've worked with an actor that looks pretty, similar. You got these monsters and stuff like that. So a degree, like you said, I'm sure being there in that element, sometimes it's probably not super hard to kind of feel scared or feel, emotional because you've worked with this person and they're all, cut up and ripped apart from these monsters.
And even the alive people just working. I remember in episode two, I believe, with Scott McCord, who plays Victor, when he's yelling at Ethan saying, she's dead, she's not coming back. His performance, like I didn't even need to try to cry. It was like just coming out of me because he was just moving me. He's just so good at what he does. And yeah, it was just so heartbreaking to witness.
Yeah, especially for, for a kid like that age too, to kind of have to go through all of this stuff. But yeah, I mean, episode two, like so far for the season, and I mean, I know we're only a couple episodes in, already a standout for me, for sure. From it's definitely a show that lends itself to a lot of, theories, a lot of, predictions. Are you someone, and I don't know if you guys kind of get the scripts, episode by episode. I don't know how far you guys kind of get them in advance, but are you someone from an acting standpoint that do you like to try and piece things together of like maybe what's coming around the corner, or are you someone that just kind of likes to have it come in and then you just kind of, go from there?
I mean, it would be nice to know what's coming around the corner, but our creator, John Griffin, will never tell us what's coming around the corner. I could ask, hey, what's happening at the end of the season? He's like, I don't know.
Do you
Nothing
like
about
to theorize though? Like on your end, do you like try to come up with like I wonder if this is like where they're gonna go or
Yeah, yeah, because sometimes it's like you're given a plot point that's so crazy, and you're like, I need to know where this is going to go now. But if Julie doesn't know where it's going to go now in that moment, why should I know where it's going to go now in a few
yeah.
episodes? It's like it almost takes you out of it to know where it's going. It's better to just be just as confused as all the characters are in real life.
That makes sense. And do you have, as far as fan theories, because there's definitely a lot of those out there, do you have any favorite fan theories that you've kind of come across? It could be even for like, previous seasons, not necessarily even for like season three, but
Gosh, I mean, I like the classic one that I see all the time that people don't really like is just that they're all dead and it's purgatory and that sort of stuff. But I don't know, maybe I'm just different, but I kind of like that. I like that it's maybe like something that they all did that connected them in their real life. And now they're in this sort of nightmarish hell in between place, whatever you want to call it, where they need to work out and like figure out what they did in their real life. But then at the same time, it's like, well, why would Ethan be there? He's like 9, he's like a child. So I don't
yeah.
know. There's so many good ones, it's hard to just narrow down, but Purgatory seems cool.
I saw some like one recently that I was coming across that someone was saying that this whole thing that they've been like abducted by like aliens and like basically the aliens are replicating a real town and so they're kind of doing experiments on them kind of going into like who plays your father he was talking I think it was like was it season two he was like what if someone's doing experiments on us and they're just
Yeah,
letting
one
this
big
play out
experiment. Yeah.
so they were saying aliens or something like that. I was like, oh, I mean, that would be, different, because a lot of
Yeah.
people have heard the purgatory thing. Yeah, there's no short, as far as like there's just tons of like the Facebook pages and stuff like that. It's all
Yeah.
kinds of crazy
Yeah,
theories.
that and like, I guess like the simulation, like video game ones, I think that one's pretty cool too for like all characters within this thing and we're all being controlled by something. I think that's also pretty interesting, just like simulation theory.
Talk about that would be really cruel. Like if we find out at the end, it's like, oh, you guys are just all being, watched and, experimented on. It's
Yeah,
like
you have no control of your own lives.
yeah, with Julie's, you kind of, talked about this briefly, like with Julie's mom, disappearing, at the end of season two, going into season three. You've kind of forced her to grow up, even though not necessarily, wanted to, but she kind of has to in this situation. What has it been like, getting to explore that with your character, especially in this season so far?
Yeah, I think it was, starting season 3 off with a bang of just Julie having to come to terms with the fact that in her belief that her mother is dead because they know that, they can't survive more than a night in the woods with a talisman. Boy did it once when he found the talismans, but mom didn't have one. Like there was kind of no hope for her in Julie's eyes. And her dad is still reeling with the death and he's not accepting that she's gone. But Julie, I guess, kind of being maybe more of a realist is like, you need to be here for us. You need to be here for Ethan, and you're not because you're in this fantasy world where you think that mom's okay, but we've accepted that she's gone. Like Ethan also accepted that she's gone, and we need you to come back to us. And it was really difficult to play because, reading the scripts, we can see Tabitha is alive, but
Yeah.
still having to know for Julie that she doesn't think that. And it's like just pleading with her dad to try to get him to come back to her is really hard to read and play and watch.
Yeah, no, yeah, I can imagine. I mean, but it is tough because I can kind of see, both sides. It's like obviously you want to hold out hope that, she can be alive, but then on your side, like you said, just kind of being more of like a realist in this kind of situation with everything that's out there in the woods and stuff. So it's a tricky to line to balance. I'm sure that's probably been, a ton of fun for you so far
Yeah.
this season. Have you thought about, throughout these like past couple seasons, have you thought about if you were put into this situation, you were in Julie's shoes, how you would fare in this situation or
Would not fare well. I can tell you now, I will not fare well. All these survival shows, it's always like zombie apocalypse shows or the end of the world shows. I'm always like, why? What's the point? What's the point? But I think what From does really beautifully is that it shows why people still do choose to hold on, and it's love and it's hope, and that was what they say the town feeds on. It feeds on hope. But these people, they are all really a family with one another, and I think that that's what sort of separates from just regular apocalypse shows where these people are actually all working together to and they're a unit instead of every man for themselves fighting against everyone else. So I think that From really toes the line beautifully of why wouldn't you just, kill yourself if you were living in this town versus like
yeah.
what is there to still live for?
It's really tough though too, because I mean the amount of shit that gets thrown your guys' way with the way it's just like, oh, this happened. Now we have to deal with this. Now we have to deal with this.
Trending.
All right, come on, guys. You got to give them something. Like, let's have like a little bit of, levity like on the, the side, so it's not just like doom and gloom like all the
Nope.
time. But no, have you ever thought, do you have like a zombie apocalypse plan if the world was to go to shit?
I think I do have a plan. I don't know how long I could execute said plan, but I kind of got it locked in my mind. I have a garage that has like, I think we got like an axe in there or
Oh,
something. I'll
there you
maybe
go.
take the axe and try to bunker down for a bit. I think that's my plan, but I don't know how long I'd
Yeah,
realistically last with that axe.
it's one thing to have a plan, but I guess yeah, when it comes to it's like when the situation actually arises, it's like it's a whole different, like situation. So I totally get what
I
you're.
always joke. I always joke that it's like they're running out of food in the town as they think in episode one, and I'm just like, that's where I draw the line. Like I really can't. Like, sure, maybe try to survive of your family, but just slowly starving to death would just be the worst.
Yeah, no, that's definitely tough. And that's like it's like, all right, we're running out of food now. Like what do you do? So what moments for you or moments for you have really kind of like shocked you the most? Whether it was like first reading it in the script or even, shooting it like a specific scene, what moments kind of like really stand out to you over these past, like obviously everything that we've seen, nothing that we haven't seen like so far.
Yeah. I mean, the end of episode three, when Tabitha is in the ambulance and pulls up and sees the tree, that really got all of us. That was just crazy. That was like everybody off, like all the actors and us were all gathered together. And we were just like, what? And we don't have the next episode yet, so we can't see what this means. Is it the same place? Is it a different place? Is it just a regular fallen tree? Who knows? It was crazy, just mind-boggling.
Do you have like a group chat as far as like just like texting whenever maybe if you guys get the scripts? I don't know if you're all kind of together like when that happens, but do you kind of have your reactions to when you initially get a script and you're like, oh my God, I can't believe I ended up going there in this episode?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I actually filming season three, I live with Pegah Ghafoori, who plays Fatima. We are roommates. And so, we'd just be sitting in the living room or like in our rooms or something, and one of us would just scream like, five is out. And then we just like freak out because the episodes are out. And sometimes we'd read them together and it just jaw dropping, and I'd be like, this happens. And she'd go, I'm not there yet. Hold on. And it was
Don't
always just
spoil it for me.
chaos when the scripts came out.
That's funny, but that's awesome. I'm actually going to be speaking to her like soon as well. So that's cool. You have someone right there, so you can kind of share the excitement of get a script. Because I imagine it was just me just by myself. I would be like texting everyone
Yeah.
else in the chat, and be like, oh my God, did you like read the new script or
Yeah.
whatever? So
The group chat goes a little crazy when the episodes come out. Everybody's very excited.
reflecting back on the past couple seasons, because I think it's always important to kind of celebrate yourself too. So over these past couple years, what are whether it's a particular scene, a particular episode that stands out to you that you are most proud of, your work that you did in a particular scene or particular episode? I'm sure
That's
there's probably multiple ones, so you can, yeah, if there's a
uh,
couple, that's totally fine.
I think, I mean, just a scene that is just standing out for me in like an episode, I guess would be, I think it's season two, episode 9 or 10. I'm not sure which one it is, but just in the chamber there with the screaming. That
Oh
really,
yeah.
because I never got to do anything that like crazy before in the work that I've done in the past. And it was just very emotionally taxing to just scream like that constantly, and to play just the fear in that scream. Like it's not just a quick like one and done scream. It's just constant, and like what you're seeing is something that's just like unlike anything terrifying that anyone's ever seen before. And just to try to tap into that and being surrounded by other people that are also working with that same emotion, and all of our throats being so hoarse and we can't even talk anymore. It's just that day really stands out to me. That scene was really interesting to film, and I love the
Yeah.
way it turned out.
Yeah, no, you should be really proud of it. Yeah, but yeah, shout out to you guys because I mean, I imagine it's like because you don't just do like one take of those things. You guys are doing, take after take after take. So by the end of the day, you guys are probably like, all right, no more screaming for me for a little while, I'm sure.
They did try to be very generous with how much they let us scream. Like if we didn't have to, then we wouldn't need to. Like they
That's
they knew
good.
that it was not good for our voices, so
Yeah.
they were very nice about that. So
Well, that's nice. At least that they're understanding. I know sometimes I've done extra work and stuff on like movies, and it's like I know you can sometimes shoot a particular scene like over and over again just because they want to get different variations of it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So whenever I there's a scene like this where you're just screaming, it's like, man, I hope you guys didn't have to do that 20 times or something like that.
Yeah. No, we have to do it on the day and then we go back for ADR later and we have to do the screams all over again because there was like a mic error or something. And it's like, oh, yay, more screaming.
You're like, oh yeah, perfect. I can't wait.
Great.
So I mean, because you've gotten to work with like a number of different people, have a good amount of scenes with different characters on the show. Who from the cast would you like to get more scenes possibly with in the future? And why does that interaction, why does that kind of like interest you between those two characters?
Ooh. I mean, selfishly, I'm gonna pick Pegah because she's my best friend and I just love working with her. And we're very sad that we don't have as many scenes together as we used to in like season one. But, obviously our stories are going in different ways. But I think story-wise, I think Jade and Julie was a very interesting dynamic that they introduced. And I would love to see that because, he's very focused on like finding out answers and stuff like that. And they had a fun dynamic there. So, and he has a very close connection, obviously, with Tabitha. They have
Yep.
a lot of stuff together. So I think, Julie could get in that mix. And I love working with David Alpe. He's just amazing. And, Catalina too. So
That'd
it's
be
great.
that'd be great to see. Hopefully, may fingers crossed. Hopefully, with future seasons or whatever. Outside of your character, Julie, who like what other character's storyline are you most invested in? Just kind of like watching it like play out. Like I'm sure like you obviously care about everyone, but is there a particular character that you're like, oh, I really want to see where this is going?
I'm just spending the whole episode talking about Pegah, but Fatima's storyline is so interesting to me.
Yeah,
It's just like every time that she's on screen and like the more stuff develops and oh god, it's so gross to watch her with the rotten food and all I can say is that it gets really good. So I'm really excited for everyone to see that.
yeah, it's crazy. Like her character going from kind of the person that was, you know, welcoming like everyone in and kind of being like the watcher and just making everyone kind of feel as comfortable as they can. And then now going into this season, she kind of has this mystery what's going on with her,
Yeah.
pregnancy and everything. It's like a big change for her. So yeah, when she was when they first show her eating like the rotten food, I was just like, oh no, like this is not going to end up, well. I'm
Yeah.
curious. I wanted to ask her, I don't know if you know, but do you know what rotted food actually was that she was had to like eat?
I think it was some kind of like fondant or like cake or something. I'm
Oh,
pretty
okay.
sure. I don't think they made her eat.
Rotted food.
They didn't make her eat rotten crops. They're
Yeah,
not that
yeah.
cruel.
But it still looks, just where it's like, black and stuff like that. It still looks nasty, but
Oh
then
yeah, totally.
at least hopefully it's somewhat tasted while having kind of gnawed that and everything. But yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, these characters obviously they've gone through so much over the past like couple years. We've talked about that. What keeps Julie going? I mean, like now, like with her mom missing and having to kind of like step up to the plate and be a parent figure almost, for her brother. What kind of keeps her going in all this, mess?
Honestly, I really feel like it's probably Ethan. Like I think that a lot of her drive comes for her instincts to sort of protect Ethan and stick with him. And even though, she's not happy that when her dad was taking off and stuff, that she was scared that it was going to be her taking care of Ethan forever if he went off and died.
Yeah.
But I think that yeah, I just think that Ethan and Julie, their sibling bond has definitely grown a lot since season one with her like teasing him, and since then she really knew that she had to stay close with him because I think losing Ethan would probably be the most devastating thing for Julie.
Yeah, no, I mean that makes sense. That poor little guy with like it's like all the stuff that he's, like gone through it at such like a young age. I'm sure, and just you guys developing family dynamic over like the couple seasons too, getting to, work with everybody.
Yeah.
I know I'm sure you probably can't say obviously much, but what can you kind of just tease for, the rest of like season three as far as just Julie's, story like going forward in the upcoming episodes without giving away too much?
Julie's story definitely has its highs and its lows, I guess you could say.
Okay.
Um, and I guess we'll see maybe some more highs in the future.
Okay, well, that is good to hear because, like I said, like it's like these characters have been through so much, so it's nice to hear that we might be having some highs for, like certain characters. But you did say there's lows in theirs too, so I won't get my hopes up too high for that. Or anything else that you would like to say just about, working on From like overall, and where can fans just stay up to date with your work moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, just working on From is just, it's been a dream coming true. This is like every actor's dream to be on such a close-knit show and be able to work with such wonderful people like every day. Like I go to work and I'm happy. Most people are like, "Oh, I gotta go to work today." I go to work and I'm excited, and it's I get to see my friends and I just get to have fun and play dress up, and it's just great. Like it's just I love everybody on set so much, and it's really been such a wonderful thing to be a part of.
Awesome. Well, I can't wait, obviously, to get to see the rest of the, season, see how everything plays out. I just want to say, Hannah, thank you so much, for your time today coming on here, talking about the show and your character's journey. And obviously, yeah, you're welcome back anytime in the future as well.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Hi, my name is Hannah Cheramy. I play Julie Matthews on From, and you're watching Pop Culture with Pat.